Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video where I am going to introduce you to another new brand, and that is Angel's Touch Makeup Glamour. And this is a palette that I've received in PR from her, from the owner, who is actually super nice. And this is how the palette looks. Now let me tell you the name. I Love Me. Isn't that phenomenal? I spoke about this in my new makeup releases and I already thought, wow, this is such a nice concept. And when you look at the shade names, let me just read a few for you, okay? For example, Overcome, Embrace, Upgrade, Self-Love, Confident, Uplift, Inner Peace, Grateful, Value, I Love Me. Just saying, okay, so you do have all these beautiful shades with all these beautiful names, and if you work with this in the morning when you get ready and you basically get reinforced by all this positivity, wouldn't that be nice? You know, I'm just sitting here and smiling the whole time, seriously. Okay, so what else did she send me? She also sent me, I still have this in packaging here on purpose because I wanted to show you the packaging. Okay, so it's like a very sleek black packaging. Packaging? Really? Seriously? Okay. Black, very sleek packaging. Okay, so she sent me a mascara with a super cool component, which looks like this. Also, this I have been using already. This is how the wand looks. Really cool. Okay, so then she also sent me an eyeshadow base, which looks like, wait, Louise, right? So this is white, and I'm going to try to do maybe a half cut crease or something to today to try this one out. Okay, so that is the plan. And then I also received a lip gloss, which is such a sweet color. Look at this. This is like a corally kind of a sparkly lip gloss. This is number 17. Okay, everything is going to be linked, of course, in the description box. Okay, I'm also going to show you the sleeve of the palette. Basically looks exactly like the palette itself, and also the back is ingredients on both, you know? Okay, so let's put this to the side so we have some space to work with. The thing is, I have done already 2 looks. I dipped completely into the colors, went for super crazy. You're going, well, not super crazy, but you know, colorful. And you're going to, of course, see those looks later on before the review part in pictures. Now today, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we were to do a neutral look with a pop of color? Sweeties. Wouldn't that be grand? Because I have not done anything basically with these 2 rows. Okay, everything else I have tried already more or less, and I kind of really feel like doing a neutral look with a pop of blue or something like this because it's beautiful. And you know, I always keep telling you, don't dismiss these looks because they're beautiful, and I never do them. That's not true, but I never do them on camera. And I'm like, okay, so let's do it. Why not? Okay, so don't unsubscribe, because this is really the place of color, but it's also a place to be open and to play around and to embrace stuff, you know? So that's what we're doing here. Okay, so if you've just found me, hi, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist, and this is my pajama time. So if you want to see what I'm really all about when I'm dressed up and ready for the day, then please watch till the end of the video, because in my review part, when I come back with my finished look and my finished styling, you will know. Okay, besides that, of course, yeah, subscribe, because yeah. Okay, sweeties, I'm going to zoom you in. And also, I want to take the opportunity today to actually talk about something going down memory lane, because there is an occasion why we should do that. Okay, I want to say the last year we have added quite a few people here. Considering the overall speed of growth of my channel, for me it is quite a few people. I know for other channels it's not, but for me it is. Okay, so let's just go in. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go in with a lighter shade first, because I have not tried that so far. I have only gone in with the darker shades first. So let's go in with the shade Grateful and do a nice warm neutral crease. Okay, so let's just do that. Okay, so we have added what I consider quite a few people in the last year, and if you have not been here before that, then maybe you don't know that I have a rescue cat, and his name is Oreo. And actually, we just now, when I'm filming this couple of days ago, we celebrated his first birthday. And maybe you remember if you know me for a while, that I was actually bringing him on here to the channel every single week and show you a growth update, or we called it the Oreo update, because it is a bit of a special story, and I felt like, why don't I, to sort of celebrate his first birthday, why don't I go down memory lane with you guys and just tell you a little bit about that time back then, how we found him and why it was so special. Okay, because yeah, rescue cats, you get them of course in all age groups, in all shapes and sizes and whatever. Well, shapes, well, they're in the shape of a cat. But I have to say that when we found Oreo, he was about 10 days old, and his chances of survival were at best 50%. And that's why for us it was so special. Now, on the day when he was found, it was July. It's basically one of the hottest months in my country, and due to that his chances of survival were obviously like super slim. Okay, on that day most of my kids were in summer camp. My oldest son was at home with me, and we had gone out to run some errands, and we were in a local shopping mall running some errands, as I just said. Okay, I'm now switching to a more fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go into the same shade, into the shade Grateful. And now I'm just going to sort of blend. Okay, so we were there, and then suddenly I got a phone call. And my husband doesn't just like call me because he misses me or stuff. He calls me because something is up. I always know when he calls me, either I have to do something, or he needs my advice or my opinion, or I have to come home because there is some kind of emergency, right? So anyway, so I answered the phone, and he said, "Do you want to save a cat?" And I'm like, no. Yeah, I know, but I'm completely honest here. I didn't want to save a cat because I did not like cats. Absolutely not. I was always firmly established in the dog camp. Dogs and horses was my life, like even before I immigrated to Israel. And I had owned previously, I had horses, and or part owned together with someone else. And yeah, and we always had dogs. Like when I grew up, we had dogs. Okay, so anyway, my sister at some point got herself a cat, and I felt like, what a traitor. What a traitor. This is never going to happen to me. So what did I do? I said, well, you should send me a picture. Because, you know, let's see if it at least is pretty. So yeah, so my husband took a picture of a most miserable little bundle, basically not really having a lot of fur yet. The belly was still bare and pink, and you could see where the umbilical cord had been. The eyes were still closed, and but you could see already that this is gonna be a tuxedo cat, a black and white tuxedo cat. All right. So I was like, okay, what are we gonna do now? I was in the shopping mall. There is a pet store. So I said to my husband, let me go to the pet store and ask what to do. And you call the city in the meantime, I told him, because they need to pick that thing up. Okay, so anyway, I will come around. I will look better at the end of the story, I promise you. Yeah, but I was really not in favor of this, because don't forget, I have 7 kids, and I had all these rescue bunnies also. You know, we had 8 rescue rabbits also at that same time, which is a lot of work, you know. I mean, yeah, you don't have to take them for walks and stuff, but they make a lot of mess. And I was like, do I really need to add more, right? Plus, I had summer vacation with 7 kids at home under lockdown ahead of me, you know, just saying. Okay, so anyway, that was that. That's sort of the backdrop of the story. So I went to the pet store, and I asked the guy there, the sales guy. He knows me like a lot because I've been there a lot due to all the other rescue animals and ordering food and supplies and this and that and the other things. So anyway, he greets me by name, and we know each other and whatever. So anyway, let's go in with the next shade. Let's maybe try the shade Vision. This might be, I might still also pull in the black, or maybe one of those, maybe this mauve shade or something. Let's see. But first, let's start with this one, with the shade Vision. So I asked him what to do, and because I thought that I'm just going to buy some milk, what is it called? Milk powder, milk formula for babies, and give it to the cat, because why would I know that there is milk formula for kittens? I didn't know that, but he told me. Of course, it is super expensive, like even more expensive than normal formula, which is already also super expensive. So, but he said, no, you cannot really use you know, normal formula for human babies. You can't do that. So I was like, all right. So anyway, we bought it. And then he also told me, you know, all these little tips and tricks that you basically have to trigger the kitten to pee, and all of these things. You have to imitate the mom who would lick the kitten in order to trigger for it to pee and stuff like that, you know? Peeing and pooping, it doesn't come easy with kittens. You kind of have to help them if there is no mom. And fat chance that I'm going to lick the kitten. I'm not going to lick the kitten. But anyway, so yeah, I was actually shocked. On the way home, we actually pulled up a couple of YouTube tutorials and got some information, and then I came home and we tried to feed the kitten, you know. He didn't want to eat. I mean, he was crying and he was miserable, but I think he just didn't want to eat from a syringe or from, I don't know. So in the meantime, we kept calling the city, we kept calling animal rescue. Nobody helped us. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with this, you know. And I don't know now which one was it, animal rescue or the city, but they told us if we send someone, just know that they are going to drive 5 streets further and put the kitten out there on the street again, you know, because nobody wants to deal. Like, what is this attitude that life isn't life? It's life, for crying out loud, right? So did I want to keep the cat? No, because I felt already totally overwhelmed. But do I want it to die? No, absolutely not. I thought, you know, maybe it can go somewhere and get stable and then go up for adoption, right? So anyway, nobody wanted it. And of course everybody was like, you know, they're street cats, they're feral cats, they are not going to behave well in a home, and they come from like a long story or long history of like wild cats, and who knows what they bring into your life, and diseases and who knows what. So anyway, well, so let's go into this and do a nice cut crease, or a cut crease. I don't know if it's going to be nice. I hope so. Yeah, so basically I'm just going to put it here on my brush, and I'm using a flat concealer brush for this one. And this is white. This is a white base. Did I tell you that this is a white base? Wait, is it coming? Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, so anyway, let's just put this right here, and I'm going to try to still keep talking, which I usually don't do because I usually mess up my cut creases that way. Anyway, so that was the story, you know. Nobody wanted to have the cat, and I really didn't want the cat either, but I wanted it to live. So that meant every 2 hours, day and night, who got up and who did the feeding and the trigger peeing and all of that, I did. So yeah, and then during the second night, the little guy had actually gathered enough strength that he was responsive enough to like drink like he should, drink a normal amount like he should. And after he was done, and after he had peed and all of that, he actually curled up on my lap, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning. He curled up on my lap and he started purring. And that is when he had me. In this quiet house, my house is never quiet. My house is full of life because of all my children and all the mess that they leave and everything, you know. And it was this quiet house. For once it was quiet, and I loved those night feedings just for that. But he had me when he started to purr. I was like, aww. This was like this was the nicest way to say I love you. You know what I mean? So he started to purr and I was like, yeah, okay, we're keeping you. I'm such a sucker. I really am, because you know, you can make me love you very, very fast. Yeah, apparently. So what I want to do is actually, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to go into the shade Calm, and that is a matte, but I'm going to, after the fact, put the shade Soul on top, I think. Not because the shimmers are not opaque. They are really, really nice and opaque, but it is a very, very light blue shimmer. So I'm just going to try if I can. Ooh, well, this works very well. Okay, so I'm gonna try if I can to just put some colorful, like a colorful shade underneath in order to make the shimmer shade a little bit darker. All right, so anyway, color payoff on that base is really, really nice. So yeah, anyway, so he had me, you know, and in the morning I called the vet. And I was like, okay, because she knows us, she comes to us regularly because of the other animals. So I told her the whole story and I said, I need you to check out the little guy. And we need to talk about what we have to do in order to keep him, to save him, to do all the things that need to be done. Because we as a family have never had cats. Also, my husband's family has never had any animals really, so I'm the one in charge when it comes to stuff like that. And yeah, so we needed to get some information. So she came and she told us, and then she also told us that his chances of survival are around 50%, which was actually really shocking because I thought it's maybe 80% or something. But yeah, it was not that good. But anyway, we thought we're gonna give it our best shot. And we spoke to the kids. We told them that because they were thrilled to have a cat. Let's go into the shimmer, the shade Soul. And let's see if the blue underneath is doing anything. I'm going to go in just like very, very light-handed because I'm not trying to cover up this whole blue situation underneath. I just want to add the shimmer aspect of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because as I said, the shimmer itself is a very, very light blue and I wanted to have a little bit more of a color impact here. But I think it's working. I think it is, you know, it adds the shimmer. But maybe you can see that the shimmer itself is really nice and opaque. I'm going in super light-handed here. Yeah, so then the doctor came and checked him out, told us all these things, what we have to look out for, and gave him, you know, the first like vaccinations. And no, he was too young still for vaccinations, but she treated him against like worms and stuff like that, you know, checked his fur that he's not bringing all kinds of parasites into the house. Parasites, or don't know what the right word is, you know, fleas and stuff like that. Yeah, and he was actually then fine, and he grew, and I weighed him, and the whole family was cheering when he had gone up a tiny little bit in weight, and it was incredible, you know, it was an incredible time. And I want to say that he was the blessing of 2020. He was the blessing of 2020. While 2020 was such a year that like everybody wants to just like forget and whatever, for me this year was a blessing due to this cat, because he has brought in so much joy into our lives, so much love. And yes, a cat can bring a lot of love, believe you me. He feels me like, I don't want to say like nobody else does, that will be a lie, but he is incredibly intuitive, and I think cats are in general. But the way he connected himself to us, due to the fact that basically he was never really in touch with another cat, because he's an indoor cat now. We are his tribe, you know, and that is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, I'm gonna finish this look, and then I'm gonna come back, of course, with the other two looks, with the swatches of the palette and with my finished look and the finished styling. And then we're going to chat about the performance of the palette, but also, of course, about the performance of all the other things that I've received. Okay, so I'll see you here in just a second. sweeties, here we are with the finished look and the finished styling, and ta-da! Who wants to say now that neutrals and a pop of blue looks boring? Really? It doesn't. I think it's beautiful, and that's why I keep saying don't dismiss these looks. You can make them beautiful. You know, of course you can look boring, but you can also look boring in green or in pink or in whatever. It depends on you. It depends on what is inside you. It doesn't depend on what you put on top of you. Okay, so anyway, this is how the look turned out. I'm super happy with it. I think it's super beautiful. It's probably one of my not most neutral, but my most beautiful looks that I've created, including neutrals. Okay, so anyway, we do have the swatches right here. I don't know why I swatch like this, like that, but anyway, you just saw them, of course, also in the video, and by the time you see this, the picture of the swatches will also be, of course, live on my Leorah Cosmetics Instagram. Okay, sweeties, that is what it is. Let's zoom in and let's show you what I did. I also want to point out that I, of course, used the mascara, especially you can, of course, see it on my lower lashes, because, of course, the other ones are a bit dramatic, right? So this is the mascara that I received from Angel's Touch Makeup Glamour, and of course also the lippy is from that brand. That's the one that I showed you in the beginning. I paired it up with a pinkish kind of a lip liner because of course it is a lip gloss, so if you want to have like a bit of a more color impact, you of course can pair it up with whatever lip liner you want. Okay, sweeties, let's zoom you back out and let's talk about the palette. I kind of really want to talk about Oreo more, but anyway, let's talk about the palette also. I have to say that here on the swatches, first of all, they swatch super well. This is on a bare arm, okay? I have to say that some of the shimmer shades actually are a bit flaky here on the swatches. I did not have that experience on my eyes though, because of course on the eye, you usually wear them with some kind of eyeshadow base. I did not have any flakiness or any weird thing happening. It's also not everyone, it's just some of them. For example, the light blue here is a bit flaky, and also this one here, but overall I think they're really beautiful. They swatched super well, super opaque. The mattes were very smooth and velvety. No complaints here. Seriously, it's a beautiful color scheme. It's a bit of a palette that gives you a little bit of everything. You know, if you want to try something like that, that, you know, gives you everything, then this might be something to consider. I think that the palette, the best part of the palette is this yellow. I used this in the first two looks. It is a beautiful, it's a shimmer shade. It is one of the most beautiful shimmers, yellow shimmers that I have in my collection. It is so opaque and so beautiful. Now, most of those shimmers are not like super foiled or anything. They're not foils. They are like OG shimmers, okay? And I think there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with like this vibe that is the original good stuff, you know? So this is what it is. Also, the mattes actually blend super well. They're super buildable, and I really like them. Also today, when I went in with the lighter shade, in the first two looks that you saw already in pictures, I always started, as I already told you, with the darker shade. Also, that technique worked out super well. No complaints. I also have to say that from those shades, whatever I tried already, I think I tried this one, and this one, I want to say. Not 100% sure, but I did not have staining from those shades. Just saying, okay? I don't know about here. Cannot really say, but what I've tried already did not stain. Buildability, I told you, it did not crack or it did not fade. I didn't have any problems with that. So yeah, I think that is a really nice result, you know? So you do have, of course, 30 shades in this palette. It's a big palette. I love that. It's amazing. The only shade that also didn't swatch so well, and I also never use that on my eye, is the white matte. I just don't need white mattes, but maybe you do, and they just never perform well on me. So never mind that. I just have a bit of a war going on with the white mattes. But anyway, that is a very personal thing, and maybe you know how to rock them much better than I do, which is very possible. Yeah, so let's also talk about the mascara, because okay, the one I showed you already is really cute, and I think this is actually a super nice mascara. It prolongs prolongs the lashes super much, you know. It separates nicely, it's very, very easy to apply, and it prolongs the lashes like crazy. I thought like this is a super, super nice mascara for prolonging. Yeah. 3 times I needed to tell you this. Anyway, but for volume, I don't really need it because, of course, I'm always wearing falsies anyway. But for the lower lash line, actually prolonging them is a super, super nice feature, and I really, really like the performance. Also didn't like fade away during the day, or I don't know, you know, anything. I didn't have any problems with this. It says here lash defining mascara, and I think it really, really does that. Separates nicely and everything. Very, very good. Okay, the eyeshadow base, I think you saw it applied super opaque, which is really, really nice. And also the impact, the color impact of the matte shade that I put on right on top of it afterwards, I think you could see that it really, really grabbed the color. So that is also super, super nice. I also did not have any problems with creasing or anything, because sometimes, for example, with the P. Louise base, I have that frequently, that it just doesn't sit well with me. I don't know what it is. Now this reminds me very much though of the P. Louise base, but anyway, it is performing, for me personally, this performed super, super well, and I think you could also see that that's what I did. And I also want to highly encourage you, when you do have a problem that you do not have the perfect shade to finish your look, like what I did today, that I actually put a matte first on and then I just topped it off with a shimmer because I wanted to have a shimmer that is a little bit darker, then that's what you can do. You can always get more out of your palette than what is in the pans actually. Okay, then also of course this lip gloss, it's super, super nice. I love the color that she chose for me. I love that it's sparkly, and I love the performance. It didn't bleed into fine lines or anything. Of course, always when I'm using a lip gloss, I will always, actually even with a liquid lipstick or anything, I will always use a lip liner also in addition to that. So, but again, you can get so much more out of one shade when you just pair it up with different color lip liners. Just saying, you know, you can get so much more out of your products when you do that, instead of just having a lip liner that is the same color or just using it with the same lip liner all over. It is so much more versatile. Makeup is so, so versatile. You can get so much more out of it. Anyway, I tried it now. This is the second time I'm wearing it, and for the first look that will come up on social media, of course, also maybe it is already live, I don't know. I paired it up with a lip liner that was actually a super, super light, do I have it here? Yeah, I have it here, which is like super light salmon color, and that worked also super well, though I think when you have lighter colors like this, it always looks nice when you have it with something that is a tiny sliver darker or much darker. Okay, so today I used something like this, which is like dusty rose kind of a shade, and I think it looks beautiful. Yeah, so it has a really, really nice shine. It does not taste or smell any like weird or anything. It's super, super nice. So this one also I highly recommend, because I do have problems with stuff bleeding, you know, into fine lines, because yes, I do have fine lines. Yeah, I do. And this one doesn't. So that is really, really nice. Okay, so that is that. I hope that was helpful. I already spoke, of course, about the packaging and the mirror. Maybe I should also mention, and the shade names I already spoke about. The ingredients are on the back. I already told you that. So yeah, that is basically it, and I just love the concept of I love me, because this is how it all starts, sweeties. This is how it has to start. Otherwise, you cannot love anyone else or anything else if you do not start with yourself. So let's make a point of that, okay? So yeah, maybe a palette like this will be able to help you, to remind you of that. Okay, sweeties, that is that. I also want to encourage you to use my code that I do have with Angel Touch Makeup Glamour. It is not affiliated. I make nothing of it, but you will find it in the description box. I think it'll save you 15% in case you want to shop. Of course, there are all kinds of other codes too if you want to check them out. Besides them, of course, there is also all my links for social media listed down there, and also everything that I have on my face today will be listed in the description box. Feel free to leave me a comment, and before you leave, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome, because I love to have you here, and I shall see all of you back here for my next video, which is gonna be super soon. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.